Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Grand Arena Zone. I don't know if we did one last month or like Ken's been kind of spotty because he's been busy. We did do, or maybe it was just a council podcast we missed a month and a half ago. But welcome, Ken, and thanks for sharing your footage.
As always, I'm very happy to be here, and my availability should be much less spotty. My internet should be much less spotty, although I'm not yet in my new office, so I'm in the corner of my house here,
Gotcha.
available room with some light. Um, yeah, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. I know we were just talking about our teams because we're recording this just as Grand Arena is opening.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one I'm expecting to see this week, actually. Bo-Katan on defense. This was a particularly curious one because it had armor in it instead of
Yeah.
paz, whatever. Um,
Weird.
and off the top of your head, I don't know if you've looked at stats or not from week one, but my opinion going into this fight is that it would be maybe a 90% chance win rate or something like that. As long as I played fast enough, I thought it'd be no issue. What would you what would you think the win rate on this fight would be?
20.
Oh, 20. Okay.
I'm
Well,
just
it's
kidding. I don't
actually
know,
exactly in
70.
the it's actually like 50%,
Oh,
roughly speaking.
jeez.
There's not a whole bunch of feedback, but I was honestly very surprised. I
Wait,
didn't
this
realize that
exact
Bo
matchup
was
says
this
100%.
one is
Or not
really? Oh,
like
maybe.
Jabba versus Spo, but just this Spo lineup.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Okay.
it's even worse chance if you have in Paz instead of armor. It's something like 50 lower 50%.
Huh.
Um, which surprised me. I didn't realize that Bo would be so good on defense.
I did. I'm scared of her. I don't know. I haven't faced one yet, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I like Jabba. Like the Paz lineup. Jabba has a 37% win rate, so I think armor is just absolutely
Yeah,
worse in every way.
but
But 37%.
yeah, it's insane. So
The best matchup it looks like is C Want and Sith Empire Trooper. It's not like high banners, but it's like 98% win.
that's nice. Yeah, well, that's actually, I doubt anybody, well, who knows? Somebody might be watching and facing me at the same time. But I've been having C on defense in threes for a long time, like C armor, etc. Um, but because of Bo, I actually took my C off defense because I was afraid of doing this and failing.
Yeah. C is also really good for just normal Seer Malicos, like whoever it is. You just because if you link Malicos, he can't do anything. It kind of defies math for me because it's like crit is I know it's more, it's even close to double like what it is, but like when I take Seer Malicos against like Ray, he's hitting for like 200,000. It's like I would think he's doing
Yeah.
100,000 while linked, but he does just nothing.
I feel bad because I don't know all the detail in his kit, but I'm pretty sure that it has to do with the fact that he gets ramping crit damage, not just ramping offense.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of talking out of my butt here. Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm not totally sure either.
There's
It's
just too
it's been
many.
interesting, yeah, kit dynamics and stuff to take into
Yeah,
consideration.
too much.
It's very likely actually my Java would have failed if I didn't have the Omicron on the Wookiee, like earlier on in
Hmm.
the fight in particular. I think once you get Bow down, then it's just a timeout risk. You could probably win with Java solo, but
Yeah, that this. I did watch this one ahead of time. This was kind of like, oh, you got time out, but it was an interesting choice to annihilate IG and Grogu instead. Clearly, trying to stall time to heal up Chris Stanton and get off that. healing immunity, and seems like
Exactly.
it's
I
gonna
was
pay
trying to go
out.
for some. I was going for some banners, but at about, I think at about this stage, I was like, did I just cost myself 20 points in the search of two more or something like that?
You're right.
Because that's what really threw me off. The AoE by Boosh when she has like, I don't know, 10 thermals or something, it actually heals her
Yeah.
because of Bo's leadership, I guess. But man, that was a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, she better come back again the same monthly cadence they're doing because I'm finally ready for her. I bet this
Yeah,
week.
I think she's supposed to be back in like a week or something
Oh,
like
she
that.
is? Did they like schedule it?
I think it's on the event server. I
Oh,
saw
okay.
something there. Just this
Okay.
morning, somebody was chatting about it.
Oh, sweet. Hallelujah.
So yeah, you should be set.
Oh, this is
So
an interesting matchup. Yeah.
yeah, this one is about assuming you have all the correct Datacron levels on the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and just paying attention to the level 9 of Sidious, like only the level 9s filtering by the level 9. This is like a 55, 60%
Hmm.
win rate. But in this particular fight, this is the very first time I did it. I was like, huh,
Yeah.
well, that doesn't seem too bad. Well, later on, we have another example of
Right.
the
Yeah.
slightly different outcome.
You know what I feel so stupid about? I didn't have the Datacron the first week, so I wasn't paying attention. But like I got it for the second week, and I've been really busy, but I just didn't remod Sidious to be good. Like like his
Ooh.
mods suck. They're because I never used him before. I don't have the Omicron or anything, so he's just trash. Like I'm going in, I have the Datacron, but it's like I need to either pick a slam dunk match or I'm not doing anything with him. So I feel kind of dumb.
But he can still kill a ton of teams. Like you'll see in his matchups, if you sort by him as an offensive character and like filter out
Yeah,
GLs, most of his matchups are 100%. So here again is
yeah,
the exact same matchup. The only thing is, I think in this one, the other Gideon is 8 or 9 instead of 7 or 8, but they have a way better Datacron,
and
and
they're
you'll see
critting all the
shortly.
time.
Yep. And look at
Like
this.
boom,
Poof.
dead.
So I was like, well, I'm not going to try that again.
That's what he did to my Malgus. He did like the Dark Trooper hit like
Oh,
or
really?
my Malgus. He crit Malgus for 200k on one of the hits. So it didn't even need to
Oh
do the
my
others, but it would have been like a
goodness.
million damage. Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Holy,
That's insane. It's stupid.
that's crazy. That's Malchus is sort of my go-to counter. Well,
Yeah.
uh, without Sidious, Malchus works pretty well. So this is a team that a lot of people were using, frankly, on defense, and I put it on defense this week because
Really?
it's quite good. Yeah, yeah.
Really? Hmm.
Of all the Beck teams with gas in there, it's great. It's a little bit better to have Ki-Adi-Mundi instead of Ahsoka, but if you keep Ki-Adi-Mundi for Qui-Gon, you still have another really good offensive team
Who put
in
this out there?
Qui-Gon.
Because I know everyone didn't come up with this on their own. Which YouTuber featured
I have no
this?
idea, but I've seen probably, I think two of my three opponents placed it,
Hmm.
and a lot of other, I don't know, just seeing fights against it. So somebody had to, I don't know, maybe Arnold or something. I have no clue.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, there's a lot of instances of it.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I'm sure somebody did post something about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, yeah, they all are with Ahsoka and not Cam.
Yeah. There's a few with Cam though.
Yeah, there's a few, but it's like when I don't filter the cutoff of like the minimal attempts required, I don't see any Cam. That's what get at GG.
Yeah. Here's it talking about teams that are popular. All three of my opponents placed some variety of this team. Some had Hondo lead, some had IG-11 lead, This team is terrible. You can like auto bad batch it. I have no clue why people place it.
Well, yeah, it's
Like for
probably. I mean,
57.
I think Zareth promotes it for consistently as well as myself. I mean, I don't know if we're the only ones, but
Oh,
just in like the list of teams you can do, I have it there, and I'm like, well, you can do this. I don't think it's that amazing, but it's something. But yeah,
well,
it's
I
not the
I
best.
didn't know that. Sorry, but I'm not
It's
taking
okay.
my
I wanted
comment
you to
back.
speak freely.
I think that the problem is that their Bad Batch has like no place to play really in the meta these days. I mean,
Yeah,
depending on your roster, but this is the only time I use Bad Batch on all three of my matches is this. Like,
I
okay,
know.
thank you. And I think I looked actually at the win rate to see if maybe because my hunter is high relic for TB, maybe I was just getting a good luck or something like that. But it's I think
How high?
99 point something percent. Mine is R9.
Oh, well,
But the win rate is 90, I think it's 99 or
yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no, they destroy it, and you're right. There's like people aren't using them for anything, so like it's always available. I mean, I have like 5 or 6 teams that I always used to use that are always available now. Even worse with Bane
Yeah.
and now Sidious, I
Oh
guess.
man. You know, Sidious, yeah, Sidious for offense really gives you a whole bunch more things to use. But in my opinion, it's Bane that is just
He's
like
like the
Bane
best
kills
character.
almost anything. Yeah.
He's like the best
And
character in the game.
oh, I agree. I agree. And he doesn't need a datacron either. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's so
nice,
stupid. Yeah, he
but
doesn't need his Omicrons either.
yeah.
He's just, but with them, it's just absurd.
Going to something a little bit related to the Beck team we saw earlier.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I'm placing this on defense too with Beck and Gas and Ahsoka, and then you're left with the other 501st. So a pretty good non-GL team is Rex fives,
Yeah, I've
especially
been
with
doing that.
the yeah, that's not easy to kill. I mean, some things kill it easily, but it's good to tax your opponent a little bit,
Yeah.
give them some hard choices.
Yeah,
But Gas is, I
that's what I
mean,
was thinking. I mean, I set gas. I didn't do. I had no idea about this killer and gas thing, but I wanted to use gas. I think I brought it. I took him off defense for this round. But I was setting gas, arc, and echo, which I wasn't the best.
yeah, still pulls a decent team. Good for banner
Hmm.
stripping at the very least. So this was actually against Fatal. And Fatal didn't even change the Datacrons versus me. He didn't even attack, so it was really not a match.
Oh,
I think he was trying to match up with Zareth or something like that.
yeah.
So
This team
this
is
team is
whack.
really, it's quite clever though, because it stops BKM, or if BKM goes to like, I want to say 60 or
Um,
70%, because these are Sith and not Empire.
I like the headline you had pop up about SBF. That was
Oh
fucking
yeah.
just.
Yeah, at
um,
least he got sentenced to some decent jail
I
time.
know that whole thing is crazy.
Such ridiculous.
But yeah, like I think I find it weird that that like everyone up at the top of Kuiper, what I haven't seen anyone do this yet. Like they're bending over backward. Well, I saw one Darth Vader lead fives, but like they're bending over backwards to avoid this one counter when it's like I don't know, it makes it so much easier for other stuff.
I agree with you in general. I think that's sort of one of the things that with Bane, if you look at the, well, I spent half an hour looking at numbers, so I am certainly missing a ton of stuff. But if you think of where Bane's best usage is, statistically wise, it's to kill Leia. Like, Leia is not a hard team. Like, there's plenty of 60, 70% win rates against her.
Mhm.
Um, like sort of the best is the SLKR or Malicos KRU, but then that takes away your Malicos to either put on defense or use against Ray, which is like an awesome way to use Malicos.
Mhm.
Seer Malicos Star Killer kills any Ray team 90 plus percent.
Yeah.
So then if you don't have Malicos to kill Leia, you're sort of ending up doing it with Bane as the easy safe counter, relatively speaking.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree that that's the best use for Bane, and that's what I've been doing. But also, you don't need to use Malicos anymore. Slicker GBA and armor is almost exactly the same win rate. It's
that's
like
very true. Yes, if you
yeah,
go with the
82.3
GL,
compared to 83, so it's really
yeah,
tight.
that is absolutely true. Just depends. Like I think SLKR now is especially good on defense if you put him in the back wall, and
Oh,
people
really?
are using BKM. If they use BKM and JML in the front, and a
Yeah.
lot of people I think will use JML in the front because he's not a great GL. So if you find some sort of good team that you can, even Tuskers or something pulls JTL or
Mhm.
JML a bunch, then I mean, yes, you can always kill SOKR with JMK,
Yeah.
but
Going back a little bit to Bane versus Leia, do you know who the worst character to take with Bane is there? Like the other Sith?
versus Leia. Um, Rod, I don't know actually.
It's Malik. He
Versus
is
Leia, the worst is Malak.
he is by far the lowest win rate, 55%. Everything else is in the 80s. I I think it's because he did like his whole kit revolves around resetting his force drain life cooldown, and he can't do that.
Yeah, I think you're exactly correct.
Yeah, I was trying to like think about it
Interesting.
earlier because I looked at it. It was like 55%. What the heck? But you know what the best banners is? Everyone's in love with
That's
Assassin, but you know what the
yeah.
best banners is?
Empire Trooper.
That's right. That's my Sith of choice. But sometimes you need him
Yeah,
for Sith Eternal.
that is a great character. That is a character that has aged really, really well. Like
Oh
almost
yeah.
always there's been a place for him in one team or another.
Yeah, I mean this whole kit just revolves around he's taunting at the start. That he's just a pre-taunt. That's it. And he's really just dense. You don't need him to do anything. You don't need him to take turns. You don't need him to hit anything. You just need him to sit there and draw some fire at the very beginning. That's
Exactly.
it.
And you can, yeah, like you're saying, he doesn't need speed, so you can stack all sorts of
And no speed.
not super great mods on him,
Yeah.
uh,
Just
and
defense
it
set,
works really well.
protection primary, zero speed. Just the first just sim for a bunch of defense mods. The first protection primaries you get, you just throw them on. That's it. I mean,
Yep.
like, yeah, you can focus on like other secondaries too, but basically you get most of it.
He's very cheap for a great character.
Yeah. Nice use of Wampa
So this
there.
was,
I don't get to use Wampa.
yeah, I know. This is the same thing. Like, honestly, when I first see the teams, I go through and like, does it Wampa have more than 70% on any team? And I really would love to use him if that's the case,
Yeah,
but it's so rare these days. Oops, I didn't cut this fast enough. It'll be another second or two, I think.
that's okay. We can talk about some other stuff. Um, I don't really know what to do
Trench.
for French. Yes.
Well, Sid kills almost all trench varieties with the exception of trench Dooku Newt. Like
Well, he's
I was
worse on
expecting,
Watt too.
he's worse, but not that much worse. Like I think Watt is pretty good, but if I again I didn't spend a ton of time, but I was looking this morning at different stats, and it looks like one of the better comps was with Trench and Dooku, and not with Watt actually, and not with Django either.
Yeah, Trench Newt's 46% and then Watt is 70%.
What really surprised me, like I would really have thought that Watt would do quite good with Trench
But
compared to his Nuke
yeah,
Nuku.
then I think with Dooku Newt, you're opening up to other stuff like Troopers is 88%, Dash Han Chewie is 96%.
Mm,
So
gotcha.
it's so hard to find a good defense. It's like impossible.
It is really impossible. I think the whole thing is like make your opponent drop some banners or make a
Yeah.
risky call in the front wall, but that's still a gamble. Like
Yeah.
it's super hard to actually make something difficult.
Somehow I've been getting holds. I don't know how. I can get like two, three holds, even though I set like one GL on defense. People dropped to Grievous. Not this team either. It was
Hmm.
B2 and B1 I set because I don't have stab. But twice in a row, there was the
Hmm,
nail in the coffin, them dropping a Grievous. I don't know if they were just trying Wampa and it was a bad idea or what.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, talking about Dash and Chew and Trench, um, we'll see here. Yeah, it can be difficult. My this actually cost me this particular fight. This is the one that I lost in week one, or the whole match I lost, but I lost by 1 point. So had I actually not dropped this, I would have won the whole match.
Ah,
But it's crazy annoying with all the stuns from Dooku, and he ended up with the tank tech, so
oof.
can't stop him from taking turns.
Yeah.
It
Had
was a bit
some
frustrating.
the RNG element to John D.
Yep. And I preloaded him too. I was like, no, what did you do? Um, I had some interesting ship fights this first week. This is the endurance, actually, not the negotiator. And before going into the fight, I looked at the numbers and it was something like, I think in this fight I brought one or two reinforcements,
Mm-hmm.
two, I believe. But and I was going for banners, I was trying to get as many as possible. I had a chance to win. This is the one I eventually lost by one, but
Mm.
um, if I had not taken in all the reinforcements here, I could have won.
It's
But
always a hard decision though, profundity, because sometimes it's like, well, especially against executors, sometimes I only need one or even zero, and then other times it's like I needed three just to get out barely alive.
yeah, I got good assists, which is why it went so well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have 100% win rate, far from it, against the endurance fleet
Yeah, that's
of all
crazy.
things.
Wow.
Yeah, I think if you don't get the at least one of those two guys out pretty early, they start stacking the Valor, and then Marauder will just almost one shot some of your ships.
Dang.
But in the end, pretty easy. Just a fight I hadn't seen that much. I was
Yeah,
curious how it
Marauder
went.
is crazy. Um, yeah, I don't think, trying to think about it, I don't think it would make sense for me to set endurance with Marauder because I have I have negotiator on defense right now, and I have won some matches based on that fleet too. So I'm pretty cemented with Profundity, Leviathan, and Chimera on offense. Because Profundity can take out anything except, I mean, comfortably anything except Leviathan. Then Leviathan's pretty good all around, good at mirrors, and then Chimera kind of cleans up the other stuff, whatever it is.
Yeah, just a second. Did I?
It's
Okay,
okay. You
sorry. Here
got
we
the
go.
one more.
Yeah. So here's the last one. This was again going for banners. And this is also not 100% win rate on GG.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very curious. I think this is not so much about the RNG though. It's just about target selection.
Yeah.
But you can still definitely lose. Like the comeuppance when it comes out of reinforcements does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah.
But
I got a hold
but
with
yeah.
them once, or this past week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have put my comeuppance on defense too, but I didn't get any fleet holds. Just, but I put my Leviathan on defense because I feel confident that I can kill any other Leviathan with some version of Chimera better than my opponents can.
Mm-hmm.
So far, it's mostly worked out, but I'm sure one of these days it's going to come and bite me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why, but the one where I got the hold, they used Executrix versus Radis, and they had Chimera available. So it's kind of a
Hmm.
self-inflicted wound there.
Yeah. Maybe they were trying for banners. I know there's some
Maybe.
executrix you can use with just like two or three ships and get 76 pretty regularly,
Yeah,
but not
might have been
100.
it. I think it was already lost for them. Or no. Yeah. It was already lost. I won by 40. So they're already
Oh,
like out
nice.
of reach at that point, but I don't really know why they do that. All right, that's
And
the
just
end of
like
the
GAC, that's the end.
yeah, that's the end of the footage. I'm pulling up some of the like counters,
Okay.
and maybe we can talk about them or like the hold rates. So, what's a team you're interested in talking about a little bit for how what they held against and what worked against them?
I think Finn is fantastically interesting with resistance DCs. So
Like,
I think Finn with the level 6 where they can't die, Zori and Holdo is good if you have like a nice tanky Holdo.
true.
Um, but I also think Finn with the level 9 for Finn and Resistance Brother and Zori. I didn't actually look at stats for that one very much, but I've heard some good things about that.
Yeah, well, Holdo. I mean, I put my Holdo with a Ray, but I'd consider doing this. I would need a Ray Datacron before I considered moving off that. But yeah, Afra is 55% against Holdo. Sidious 73. Starkiller still dominates at 96%. We got 7% for JKR. That's with Yoda and Jolie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely is a pretty solid defensive team from what I see. Oh, if you add a Giant Luke Revan, it goes up to like 83%. But interesting.
I think it's especially good with the tanky holdo because the way that the datacron works, you have to give them all below 100%.
Hmm.
So it's can be difficult to get holdo
Yeah.
below the first time so you can kill stuff. When I was looking through some of the stats for that one, if you look at the relic levels of the teams that have lost, oftentimes they're just a bit lower. So
Yeah.
you can see how it's easier to get them down.
Yeah. That
But
you have to go under 100% health for someone to die. That's actually I don't know where the best way to use it would be, but or if it's a good idea, but like on offense, you can really like abuse that cuz AI is not going to figure it out. Then you're just
well,
not going to be able to
actually,
stay alive.
can you can you swap the search then to look for that on offense? Because I haven't done that. I
Yeah.
have no clue.
Yeah. Um
Because that's a great point.
when I pull it up, when I pull up fit on offense, the first thing I saw was a bunch of red, like a sea of red, poor win rates. Uh, you hold though. I don't know if many people
But
would have done it because it's so
yeah,
valuable.
that's more
Yeah,
of
it's
what
so
I
valuable on defense. There were 7 total battles of that comp
okay.
on offense. 2 of them were against a Cad Bane lead with Embo and Gamorrean Guard. So I don't think there's anything useful there.
How
One
about
thing that
Trench
was
on offense? Oh,
Trench
sorry,
on
sorry, go
offense.
ahead.
I'll pull it up in a sec. But like one thing I wanted to talk about is so Ray, Holdo, and Ben. I've been setting that on defense. I only faced it once, but I've been using Seer, Starkiller, and Malicos. The
Yep.
6 Omicron team. It's by
Yeah.
far the best. And I keep getting these comments like, "You don't need Starkiller. Arnold killed Ray with Baby Cal." I'm like, "Okay, great." And then this one guy insists on saying, "You don't need Star Killer, you just need Maul." And I'm like, "Okay, one, that's a bad, like, that's not a good value trade. Like, why would I do that?" Mauls in general, kind of more valuable than Star Killer. But you know what? The win rate for both Cal, Baby Cal, and Maul with that team, Seer and Malicos, have the same win rate against Ray with Holdo. You know what it is?
60, 70, something like that.
27%.
Oh,
27. And then Star Killer, if you put in there, 85.7. So it's like
yeah.
I was
Night and
getting
day.
irritated, starting to get irritated comments, especially from the guy about the mall. I was like, why would I do that? And one, why would I do that? Two, you're so incredibly wrong. It is so. so clear. But she
Yeah,
is still tough. So I can understand why 14% of people lost, but that team like going off, that's just such a powerful team. Sierra
it
Starkiller
is, and it
Mac.
really it makes Ray on defense like in a way, it's a great way to make sure you take the enemy Malicos off the table,
Hmm.
which is sort of like the main use because if they don't have Malicos, there's no real. I mean, you can kill it with Ray, you can kill it even with JMK a bit, but like they're not great counters.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a pretty good trade. But if you don't have that team, then you're sort of screwed.
Yeah. It's just it makes me feel really safe because my first match I would have won if I just cleared because I got a ton of holds, but I got stuck on Leia and Ray in the back because I wasted Bane up front,
Mm.
and then um, I forget what I even used, but like I didn't have a good answer for either. But Seer Malikos Star Killer just insane, and then Bane against Leia. Like I mean, they're both not like a sure thing. Like there's a 12-13% chance to lose, but just so good for such good defensive teams.
Yeah. What's the best Vayne versus Leia? Sith Empire Trooper? The best second for Vayne is
That's
Empire
not the
Trooper?
highest percentage. The highest percentage I'm seeing. I need to filter the side of things. Darth Maul is surprisingly really high. Overall, I think
Hmm.
Savage was the highest I saw. No, he wasn't. Okay,
Okay.
he's the highest banners, but yeah,
I don't know
Darth
if I'd want to take
Maul.
Savage and well, that's interesting because of the days, I guess, stopping the assists.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's the highest win rate. It's all pretty close. He's 90.5, and then like Talon's 89.5, and
Oh,
Assassin's
okay.
88.7. So it's not like a huge difference, but it's just,
Gotcha.
I mean, you pretty much throw anything except Malik, and you're close to good to
Yeah.
go. Darth Vader's bad. Sith Trooper's bad. Scion's bad. Yeah.
Should be interesting. I only faced Leia on on defense once this last match, and I used SOKR versus it. But I'm
Hmm.
definitely now switching to the. I'm going to use Seer versus Ray because I was using my own Ray versus other Rays,
Oh
just
yeah,
an easy
yeah,
mirror.
yeah.
Uh, but I wanted to put my Ray on defense,
Right.
so I'm going to
Yeah.
use Seer, but that takes Malicos away. So Bane for
Yeah.
Leia if she's there on the back wall.
To me, I think it's a good trade because on defense, I think he's a sitting duck to Sith Eternal, like just a solo Sith Eternal, not even with a support unit.
Yeah.
So I'll take the trade off. And then them separate, I don't know exactly what their best use is, but like Ray right now is a hot commodity on defense and really hard to deal with otherwise. So overall, she's got a 65% win rate, which is better than pretty much everything else. Maybe and Leia's 67%. So
Yeah.
they're both
Definitely good to have on
insane.
defense.
Yeah, insane hold rates. And then the last thing I'm just like I am conflicted on what to actually do about is Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. I like specifically with other Moff Gideon there. It's like JMK is safe, and
Malgus
then
is pretty safe too. I know you said you had a really bad experience, but in general, Malgus is a pretty good counter versus him. I think it's like
78,
87% or 78. Okay.
78%, but I don't feel good.
JMK?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, JMK obviously, but I've kind of been using J. I think the what I'm gonna be forced to do is JMK and Supreme Leader Kylo will each have to like draw straws for who to take out, either Jabba or Dark Trooper off Gideon. Both are
Have you
like
been
in the
seeing
Sidious
Jabba
reach.
a lot on defense?
Yes, every time.
Oh, really? Okay. I only saw him
Yeah.
once also.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe it's my opponents, but yeah, I'm always seeing him.
Oh, I
And
think he's good. Like he's a pretty decent one. No easy counters really, besides like Dark Trooper Moff Gideon.
right. Yeah, like 680 people thought Afro versus Java was a decent idea, and only 9.1% of them pulled it off.
680.
680 instances.
Not the
Season.
same Datacron set.
Yeah, and even in that
Okay.
other one, it was still a crapshoot.
Yeah.
That's a matchup actually where C Bane is like a better one. That was a 93% win rate.
Hmm,
Yeah.
nice.
All right. Yeah. Those are all the matchups I really had on my mind. Any others you want to talk about?
No, it's good. Good for me. Gonna be an interesting week too. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks so much to everyone for watching. Thanks again to Ken for coming on, and we'll see y'all later.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.